Mind your own business. If you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine.
You're listening to Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220, KHTS. And you're listening to the very first show of Mind Your Own Business. And I'm going to give it over to Doug.
Well, Ed, we have to decide, because I thought it was going to be Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed. But then when the printed material came out, it was so funny. It said Ed and Doug.
It had the wrong picture on it. So,
what?
I think there are companies that have like 5 presidents and they alternate who's going to be the president this month. Kind of like our city.
Yeah, kind of like our mayor.
You say whoever is less controversial can be first, or I don't know. We're not going to get into politics on the show, so that's all I'm going to ever say about our city council. But I think we should just trade it up. If it's in print, since you control the print, you can put your name first. And if it's in our 25 score stuff, I'll put Ed and Doug. But I told you earlier that I like it Ed and Doug because even if you do the initials, it still spells me.
Good point. Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
So ED. So,
all right.
But let's talk to the listeners about what we're trying to accomplish here, and also on Facebook. Tilo is going to be receiving any questions. We're going to have guests here, but if something comes in that's really interesting that you want to ask a question of us, we'll answer it. So it'll be very impromptu. And you can do it on my Facebook. Tilo, tell them what to do.
Just, if you're not friends with Ed Bernstein yet, add him on Facebook, and you can just private message him, and if your question or comment is good, we'll say it on the air.
And if it's not good?
We won't. We'll cut you out. We'll just say we got a message from Sandra L., and we can't talk about what she said.
So, Ed, we have another lovely lady in the studio with us today. She's got this big camera, and it's looking right at me. I'm getting a little nervous. What's this all about?
Well, Bonnie Keith with Video Magic, correct? Video Magic. I like the way it sounds. Video Magic. She is documenting our shows so that we can provide our guests with video of them being interviewed and with them explaining their story, so it can be said over and over again. It's one of the packages we're producing for 25 Score so that people can have good content. Everybody needs to be relevant on the internet, and having video and audio helps you get more searched on the internet, and you don't have to say the story over and over again. So I'm hoping I'll never have to go out in public again. Just watch a video, and then you know what I'm about.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, Doug.
I joked earlier about just wanting to stay home and stay in bed because times are tough for small businesses, and but in all seriousness, though, there are a lot of small business folk, and I'm sure you agree with me, Ed, that they're
hunkering down.
Yeah, they hunker down when things get tough. And, I visit with a lot of them, and they'll say, man, I don't understand why the phone doesn't ring as much as it used to. I don't understand why not as many folks are walking into my establishment as they used to. And they just kind of sit there and wonder why. And I think what we want to do, through our advertising campaign that our companies have aligned together to do, and with this radio show, is to help small businesses, the ones that may be thinking, hey, what's going on? What can I do? Do I need to give up? What else should I try before I might even think about giving up? Before, when it's, what do we do? So that's what we want to get across, correct?
Everybody is, I saw Channel 7 came to talk to the community to say, are we doing a good job covering the news? And everybody kept asking, how come you don't cover good stuff? And Channel 7 and most of the news organizations say, if it's common, it's not news. If it's not common, it is. And we're in a very weird place right now that negativity and reports of people closing, and I'm watching my merchants go out of business after 6 months because of maybe planning or the economy, that now news is good news because the commonplace news is negative. So we're pushing out the success stories because people want to be attached to things that go right, and they want to learn from people that are doing right. And everyone that's listening here should be taking a hard look at themselves to see if they're reinventing themselves with all the new technology and aligning themselves with people that are growing and are positive. We all have friends that we dread when the caller ID comes on because we know that they're going to just spend 20 minutes complaining about their life. And think of yourself, if you're a business person complaining about how bad it is, your customers don't want to hear it. They just want a sandwich. They just want a taco. They don't want to hear that, that you're having a hard time finding good people. But as business people, we have connections. And my whole theory on business is that you need to let everyone you know what you're trying to accomplish, because they may have the resources easily at hand to give you a leg up on what you're trying to accomplish. And we feel the radio show is going to do that, and so does all of our 25 Score stuff. I post people looking for people for employment on Facebook, and within hours I have 4 or 5 applications of qualified people. Now, if they sat in their office and said, I don't want to run an ad, or I'm going to talk to my friends, but to get 4 or 5 quality applicants that are dying to get a job simply because you put it out there is what my mantra. You need to put it out there. Don't be afraid to ask. We all want to help. And this show is going to help a lot of people if they listen in to hear the stories about people that didn't hunker down and expanded. And that's what we're doing.
Ed, I was thinking there's a lot of folks right now, particularly a lot of moms that are on their way right now to pick their youngsters up at school. And they may be thinking, I don't own a business. My husband works for a corporation in L.A. What will this show do for me? What am I going to get out of it?
Well, a lot of people watch Shark Tank. They don't own businesses or don't invent anything. And they have no idea how the business world works, and that's entertainment. But when you educate people, they think differently. They start thinking, how am I adding value? Not that I deserve a job. They're starting to think, if I'm trying to make my kids be not dependent on me till they're 27, how do I teach them to get in contact with people to help them to be financially independent by working and adding value? And a lot of people don't see examples of that. And I see them every day, and I want to share those. Because it's not as scary as you think. If you can really add value, you'll make money.
And the other thing I would add for the folks that may be thinking, what's the show going to do for me, is folks, shop local. When you can, please shop the smaller businesses where you have the local guys and gals that live here and work here. If you keep that in mind, that helps.
Every dollar spent locally, 86% stays. Every dollar spent on a chain, 34 cents stays. Every dollar spent online, none of it stays. So if you want to support your local store, there's a campaign called the 350 Project that people shop at 3 places and spend $50 a month. It will change the way the economy works. Shop local.
All right. So I think when we come back, we're going to have our first guest, our first exciting guest.
Steve Youlios at Jersey Mike's. I love this man.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk pizza, I think.
No, we're talking sandwiches. Pizza's the next section.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. Anyway, we'll be right back, folks. You're listening to AM 1220 KHTS, Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed.